All right. Sorry.
It's okay.
I think we should just leave this shit because it makes me laugh.
We will. I don't know about this rolling chair.
I'm waiting on you.
All right. Let's roll. We're here. One more time.
Already? We just got started.
Let's go. Let's go.
Church with cigars and the wildest grin. Call it the shop or the crew.
Welcome to Testosterone and Tantrums. Unwrapped, unfiltered, and definitely unapologetic. I'm your host, Vinny.
I'm your host, Sasha.
Testosterone and Tantrums.
Stirring up smoke like a barbecue fuel, then hides behind Matt like, yo, that's rude.
Matt stands tall, barely breaks 5'1".
I don't know about this rolling chair.
I'm waiting on you.
All right. Let's roll.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Welcome to Testosterone and Tantrums. Unwrapped, unfiltered, and definitely unapologetic. We're your hosts, Vinny and Sasha.
And we're here to talk about. We're here. One more time.
Already? We just got started.
Let's go. Let's go. And I'll keep my sexy legs down. One more time.
All right. Sorry.
It's okay.
I think we should just leave this shit because it makes me
We
laugh.
will. We'll put outtakes on the end, right? This will make the blooper reel, right, Steve?
Welcome to Testosterone and Tantrums. Unwrapped, unfiltered, and definitely unapologetic. We're your hosts, Vinny and Sasha.
Here we talk about. Here we talk. One more time. Go. Just roll. Just roll.
Just read the fucking thing.
Just roll. This way we're cut it.
Welcome to Testosterone and Tantrums. Unwrapped, unfiltered, and definitely unapologetic. We're your hosts, Vinny and Sasha.
Here we talk about just about anything, but understand we respect everyone's opinions, right? Even the dumb ones. So don't be offended. One more time.
Okay. Welcome to Testosterone and Tantrums. Unwrapped, unfiltered, and definitely unapologetic. We're your hosts, Vinny and Sasha.
And here we talk about just about anything, but understand we respect everyone's opinions, even the dumb ones. So don't be offended.
What are we talking about today, bud?
Today we're going to be talking about origins,
Okay.
but at some point we're also going to talk about our sponsors.
Gotcha.
So let's talk about you, Vin.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about what got you into the whole smoke-in cigar scene.
Well, I come from a background of sales. I had an insurance agency, and I was good
Mother
friends.
and father insurance agency?
No, just me.
Okay.
Just me and I had a partner, and we were doing very well. But it was always my dream to own a bar, not even a cigar bar, just a bar. And I would smoke cigars. I was a regular at Smoke Inn.
Which one?
The one in West Palm.
Okay.
And I became very close with the owner, Abe. And I worked for him for a period of time when times got a little tough. I had to close another business, a home theater business. So he was buying Delray location because he was building his flagship shop up in Boynton Beach. And he calls me up. My office was in Boca Raton, and he was like, "Hey, why don't you come meet me for lunch?" So I show up, beautiful little lounge.
This is in Boynton Beach?
In Delray. And there's a full bar, and I'm looking around going, this is a beautiful little bar. I'm like, I always wanted to own a bar just like this, just to get started. And he turns to me, he's like, buy this one. And I'm like, you're like buying it right now. Like he's sitting there doing this. He has the contract in front of him with the owner. And he's like, look, I'm buying it for the liquor license, the inventory. I'm building my flagship store in Boynton Beach. He goes, I really don't need this.
Is that why he invited you that day?
No, just have lunch. We were friends.
Nice.
So I went home, I thought about it, and I said, okay, let's do it.
Now, when was that?
2012.
2012.
The end of 2012.
Now, right now, Smokin' Pompano is hosting us today.
Correct.
That's where we're at. Was this one first or was this one second?
No, this one was second for me.
for you.
But Abe owned this one, and being that I live not far from here, I wanted this one. For years I kept asking him. So he wouldn't sell it, but then what he did was he was building a warehouse for his online business.
Now, where's his warehouse?
In I think it's in Boynton Beach.
In Boynton Beach,
I
okay.
think so. I haven't been to it yet. So when he was building his warehouse, he wanted to liquidate, I guess, this location, because this was his redheaded stepchild. So he finally came to me. He's like, "You're interested?" I said, "Yes, I am," and that's how I got it.
So what made this the redheaded stepchild for him?
It was just far distance. You know, all his locations were Boynton all the way up to Port St. Lucie, Vero.
He goes that far up. I didn't know he was all the way up.
Yeah.
Vera's a haul.
It's a haul. Well, it's like this was a haul for him.
Yeah.
You know, I live right here, so it was great.
So it's easy.
By the way,
Yes.
do you what cut do you like?
You know, I don't like when they slice it. I like a punch, actually, because otherwise all the tobacco just starts coming into my mouth. What do you do?
Did you say coming into my mouth?
Oh my God. I walked into that one, by the way. Set up. Walked into that one.
I just pinch it.
Show me how you do that.
I just grab the little tip. I just grab the tip. And
This way it doesn't come in your mouth.
Right. And I just pinch it. I don't know.
I'm gonna try that.
Sometimes you get a little piece of tobacco because it's not very clean, but if you guys can see, I just it's a little hole. That's all, you know.
You like those little holes.
I like them.
So I think that was a great time to talk about our sponsor for today's podcast, right? For our Origins podcast.
So today we have Aganorsa sponsoring us. Jeff Groover, the rep, was nice enough to give us I got an Aganorsa Anniversario Corojo. And what did you get?
I got I guess it's pronounced.
you don't have an Aganorsa.
No, I don't.
You have an EP Carrillo, Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Okay, well,
we're gonna find
I
out
guess
how
the
this is.
sponsor is Jeff Groover. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciated it.
Which he also makes these nice lighters for us, too.
That literally say TNT on them, right?
Well, they will. This one says fuck around and find out.
Oh, love that. Yeah, we could talk about DeSantis a little bit right now, but we'll leave the politics for later. So one of the places I think I met you probably about a decade ago, roughly, right? Something
Probably,
like
yeah.
that. And it was over at the Smoke Inn in Delray Beach. And one of the things that I love about that place is it's become my second home. And the
A
first
lot of people.
And it's interesting because when I first showed up there, I was supposed to meet a friend of mine who ended up standing me up, right? And I met, let's call him the governor, Mr. Cleve.
Oh.
And he's like, "Oh, what are you here?" He's like, someone's supposed to meet me. He's like, "Yeah, okay." He's like, "But come join us anyway."
Yeah.
And now it's, even Sharon's like, she goes, "Go to the shop." She hates
We call it church.
Yeah, she hates when I call it church.
Oh, really?
When she comes here later on to drop off the
Well,
shirts,
Cleve's wife is the one that actually named it church.
Sharon hates when I say that. Oh my God.
Really?
She's like, "Don't call it that." I'm like, "Okay."
So we have a good group of guys, regular guys, there almost every day. And we meet almost every day, but specifically Tuesday nights and Friday nights, and we call it church. We just sit outside, break balls, have drinks.
Not you. You don't.
Yes, me and everybody else. Listen to Sasha's bad jokes.
Oh God, the use of old jokes, right?
Oh my God.
Well, you know, these people have never heard it, so maybe I should say it.
Oh, no, Farrah, please. You know what? We should actually have a segment of a bad joke a day.
We should. A Sasha joke.
A Sasha joke.
There we go. We'll save that for later. Definitely save that for later. But you know, I want to kind of go back into the cast of characters. Some of these guys you know for a long time, and it's interesting because I tell Sharon all the time, there's people there that I've truly become friends with. There's other people that I'm friendly with, right? But I see some of the relationships that have been built up over the years, and for me, it's been so interesting to watch to the point that a lot of what I call the church crew literally travel around together.
Yeah.
So I guess we got some noise back there, but we'll leave that for Steve, right?
Yeah. So the way it started was about 13 years ago. No, 15 years. 2012 was what? 13 years ago.
13 years ago.
13 years ago, we Cleve and I were friendly, and Larry.
How did you meet Cleve?
Cleve was coming in and buying cigars, but I was actually hanging out with him at a restaurant called Salt 7.
Okay.
You know, he used to hang out at Salt, but I knew him from stopping in my store. He never really hung out.
Closed, huh?
Yeah. So we became friendly, and we started hanging out outside, and Larry started hanging out. And then it was one of those things, like Delray is a little different, where it's not really a cliquey place. If you're sitting by yourself, we're going to introduce ourselves. We're probably going to invite you outside.
But I just want to correct you one thing. You're not talking about Delray, you're talking about the Delray Smoke-In.
The Delray Smoke-In.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Because
Delray Smoke-In.
Could be a very different
Yeah.
vibe. And you're literally right downtown, so.
Right downtown, 2 blocks off the avenue. So it grew because we started just inviting people. Hey, what are you doing, man? Come sit with us. Come join us. Come join us. Everybody, come join us. Come join us. And that's how it grew to like 30, 40 people.
Yeah. And of
You
course,
know.
the parking lot's become the stadium.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We now branched out into the parking lot, and oh my God, there's a lot of people.
And we've got a lot of stories from that.
A lot of characters.
Now, you're originally from New York,
Yep.
right? You're from the other side of the bridge. You're from that. Okay, here, bad joke coming, guys. You're from,
Staten Island.
you know, Staten Island got its name from an Irish guy, right?
No.
He was drunk, and he's on a boat, and he goes, "Is Staten Island?"
Oh my God.
Or maybe we'll say that
See?
later.
You see? This is what I'm talking about. Anyway, originally from Brooklyn, Bensonhurst, Borough Park, and then when I was about 7, I moved to Staten Island.
By yourself or with your parents?
No, I bought a house at 7.
Good for you. Bad jokes.
No, when my parents moved out to Staten Island, and
By the way, that's the tantrum. This is a testosterone.
but my grandmother and my cousins that were my age, I was very close with, still lived in Brooklyn, down the street. So what we did was
S63.
what?
The S63, the bus. That was the one I
Oh,
used
I
to,
didn't take the bus.
I used to take the bus to Clove Lakes to go ice skating. When I was a
Oh,
kid.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
wow.
S63, I remember that.
From where?
Right by the library on 95th and 4th, the Brooklyn Public Library. There was a bus right there that went to Staten Island. It was-
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
you
was
came all the way out for
S63.
ice skating? You didn't go to Rockefeller Center or
Dude,
the one
I
at Central
played ice
Park?
hockey out there. Busted up my knees a couple
really?
times, yeah.
So, yeah, but I would always go back to Brooklyn on weekends to see my cousins, you know? And, yeah, then about 18 years old, I joined the military.
By the way, I say this from the heart. Thank you for your service.
Well, thank you. And got out of the military, lived in New York for about another year, and then said, what the fuck am I doing? I'm going to Florida. My parents had already moved out here. My grandparents had already moved out here. So I'd rather have the
But
nice
Florida's turned into the 6th borough of New York.
It's been for a
It's
while.
been for a while. I mean, every other person you speak to is either
You
from
run
New
into
York,
somebody
New
out
Jersey,
here,
New
90% of them are from New York, and you always know somebody that they know. It's just the way it is.
You know the wildest thing? Childhood friend of mine, we used to hang out, right? From the age of 12 till about 21, we were almost every single day we'd be hanging out together, right? And as life goes, you know, friends go separate ways, not for anything negative. Fast forward to it's 2004. Sharon and I moved down here in 2004. It was 2004, 2005. We were at a place called the Ugly Mug. Remember that place?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it stayed open till about 5 o'clock in the morning. It was just west of Military and Atlantic. And I'm in there. It's like 3:30 in the morning. And a guy walks up to me and goes, "Hey, do you have a light?" And I look up, and it's my childhood friend from
Oh,
Brooklyn.
wow.
And then come to find out that he literally lived 5 blocks away from me, and I had no clue.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, small world.
I have a question for you. What kind of name is Sasha?
What
Is
kind of
that
name
like
do
a
you think
Russian
it is?
name or something?
Never in a hurry. Another bad joke.
Oh, my God.
Listen, my legal name's Alexander, but that's the name that whenever Sharon is mad at me or when the cops pull me over, they'll say Alexander.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but when I was a kid, if I ever heard Alexander, I would duck. But I was actually, leave it to a Frenchman, my father, to find a Danish woman just about 20 years younger. But I was not born here. I was actually born in Denmark, but my legal name's Alexander. But 2 days before I was born, my mother was watching Dr. Zhivago. So that little kid, the little kid in a movie,
Never watched it.
yeah, my mother, she still says ooh to this point when she sees Dr. Zhivago. But Sasha was a nickname. So fast forward to, I do have one privilege, and this is why the military means so much to me. Like I said, my father was almost 20 years older than my mother. He actually fought in World War II.
I wanted to get into that now that you brought up your father, too. But
Yeah.
finish your story.
But I had the privilege of being born a U.S. citizen, and it's something I never take for granted because, unfortunately, freedom is never, ever going to be free. And for what you do, for what all of our military does to protect us, to keep us safe, because we have a lot of first world problems, and we're going to be talking about that on Tantrums. and testosterone, or testosterone tantrums rather. But it's such a privilege to have that. There's so many people that give up everything just to come to this country.
Yeah.
And it's for what you and your brothers and sisters fought for and are fighting for to protect us. So for that, I have tremendous respect for it.
Thank you.
Tremendous respect.
A lot of people out there lost their lives in the name of that. A lot. So.
And I think, unfortunately, we're running out of veterans from World War II. There's only a handful of them left. But those stories can't be forgotten. And I know this probably isn't the place for it right now, but those stories need to be remembered because it's their sacrifice that probably saved millions and millions and millions.
Absolutely.
But it's still a sacrifice. And this goes back to just a little core of Christianity, but to sacrifice yourself for someone else, I don't think there's any greater gift that anybody could give. So, but back on a serious note, we'll go back to some bad jokes. So Sasha, yeah. And of course, when I went to school, going to school in Brooklyn, I grew up in Bay Ridge, by the way, right? And you don't know the fun. Everyone used to make fun of my name, right?
Really?
Oh God, dude. So I'm a year ahead of. I was a year ahead of everybody in school, right? And God gave me the gift of a brain, and I'm grateful for that, right? But I'm a year ahead of everyone in school, so just by default, I'm the shortest. But I was short to begin with, right? And people would pick on me, and Sasha turned into Sasquatch. Remember all the Bionic Man, right? Or it would be Shrimp because it would sound like Sasha.
Right.
And the worst one though was Shasta. I don't know if you remember those commercials. I want to pop. I want to Shasta.
Yes.
And Vinny, when I was a kid, I used to wish my name was Bill or Bob or Robert. Like I just wanted a name that just blended in. But I
think everybody goes through that. I think everybody when they're young hates their, like, my name is Vinny. I love my name now. Oh, Vincent. My name is Vincent. I love my name now. But I was young, I hated my name. I don't know. I feel like like my son. My son, his birth name is Ludovico. He doesn't like it. That was my grandfather's name. My great grandfather's name.
What's the nickname?
My father's name.
Vic?
Luke. He goes by Luke.
Okay.
But like
Luke, I'm your father.
And that's something that was never actually said. That's actually never said in a movie. But anyway, that's
I'm a Star Wars buff, but you're about to teach me something. But we'll go back to that.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Let's go back to Ludovico.
But just my point is that I don't think any young kid really likes their name. Now I don't know women, but like boys, I don't think a lot of boys love their name.
I would always get it's a cat's name.
Oh, I got everything.
It's a girl's name. You got it's a girl's name?
No, but I got like I listen. It was my last name that got me abused. You know, I've got also my first name. I got Vinny Bag and Donuts. There was so many nicknames I got called. You know, my last name is Prestigiacomo. I got Prestigiacock. You know, it was just
Prestigiacock.
Yeah, Prestigiacock. Like I used to get abused. I mean, yeah, you get it. You know, everybody was abused back then, but.
Yeah, we grew up at that time, but I got to tell you, Sasha, I hated it, right? It's a girl's name. I always get, are you Russian? So my dad joke or my bad joke, whatever you want to call it, is no, I'm not in a hurry.
Right.
And the funniest thing is you'll see people that get it right away, and you'll see other people like 5 minutes, oh, you're not Russian.
Yeah.
New Yorkers seem to get it quicker than others because of the whole, Russian.
How many of your friends tell their wives, oh, I'm going out with Sasha tonight? And a woman's first reaction is like, who the fuck is Sasha?
It gets better than that. It gets better than that. I get an angry phone call. This is like 2 months ago. This is a guy that I had met professionally, right? And I get a phone call with a woman screaming on the phone. Like, who's this? I'm like, you're calling me. Who's this? I want to speak to Sasha. I'm like, okay, you got him. What do you want to talk? No, I want to speak to, I'm Sasha. She goes, no, you're not. I want to know why Sasha's number is on my man's phone. And I'm like,
oh, wow.
Listen, I'm not gay. And I said, if you want, you could Google me. You'll find me very quickly. I'm Sasha.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It was hysterical. But going back to you, was there ever a single moment where you went from hating your name to loving your name, or was it something that came gradually over time?
Well, that's a good question. I don't remember. I mean, I was young, I remember not liking Vinny and, but...
What did you want your name to be?
I don't know. I honestly don't remember. No, maybe like an Anthony,
You'll get
stuff like that.
On.
Yeah, bad jokes.
Bad jokes
filled with them.
Yep.
Anyway,
every once in a while though, I get.
I don't remember exactly when I was young, but I remember not liking my name when I was a child, and I would say it would probably gradually. Now, I mean, I get called Vinny, Vince. Vincent, Vincenzo, Enzo. I've got a million different names people have called me now, and I answered everything. I don't care, But I also introduce myself differently a lot of times, depending on the environment I'm in. Sometimes if I'm in a business environment, I'll say Vincent, But if I'm out, I'm like, hey, I'm Vinny, So just depends.
For me, it was interesting because I'm 5 years old. I could already spell my name, or what I thought was my name, Sasha, right? And I remember my mother bringing me to school and had all the names on the desk, walking around. And I'm 5 years old. I can't read Alexander. Picture a 5-year-old. And I see this, and my mother, I'm like, Mom, I can't find my name. She goes, yeah, it's right there. Like, I didn't even know. I didn't have a clue.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, what? And so, first grade, 5 years old, realized that that's my name. Second grade, and I went to public school in Brooklyn, and you, like me, probably had the same classmates year after year. Second grade, new teacher calls out my name, Alexander, yes, but please call me Sasha. Third grade, Alexander, the rest of the class did it for me, but please call me Sasha.
Just call him Sasha.
But for me, I remember a single defining moment in my life, and I'll never forget this, and it took me, and I know you're going to have a hard time believing this, but you can ask my sister, I used to be incredibly shy. Like, I would physically hide.
You?
Yeah.
Wow.
I would hide behind.
Not like that now.
Yeah, talk to my sister, she'll tell you. But I'm 11 years old. We're going on a school field trip to Asbury Park, right? And because me and my friend Larry were late, we ended up having to go on the grade above us, on their school bus.
Okay.
So we're the smallest ones. It's like, great, we're going to get our asses kicked today, right? We go to Asbury Park. And we got stuck somewhere in the middle of the school bus in that little exit row that nobody wanted to see because, the emergency windows would always rattle. Like
Yeah.
And it was the summertime, so you couldn't open them up. So we got stuck with the worst seats. And I can tell you exactly what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a pair of blue Adidas shorts, the ones with the 3 stripes on the side.
Okay.
And I've got a Gap hooded sweatshirt, right? It's gray, and I've got a t-shirt underneath, right? Me and Larry are talking. And one of the things that they used to do all the time is, you remember Shasta, right? I want a pop. I want a Shasta. So someone started making fun of my name. Someone said Sasquatch. Someone said shrimp. Shrimp became midget because I was so short to begin with at that time. And all of a sudden, the whole school bus starts singing to me. So here I am. I put my knees up into my chest. I pull my hooded sweatshirt over. And my friend Larry, he literally was my neighbor. His door was 28 feet and 6 inches. We measured doorknob to doorknob. So Larry literally he's putting his hand on my shoulder. Sasha, it's okay. It's not like I was going to cry. And it hit me in that one single moment. And look, I got goosebumps. All these different feelings came over me.
He really does have goosebumps.
Yeah, I do. One single feeling came over me. But it I don't even know how to explain it. And all of a sudden I took my sweatshirt down. Larry's like, are you okay? And I stood up. I sat up straight. My feet were down. And I'm just looking around. And I said, Larry, do you know any of these people? He goes, well, I think that's Susan's sister and Robert. He goes, and I think that's Robert's brother.
But everybody knew Sasha.
I had no idea who any of these people were. I knew they went to my school. I recognized them.
Right.
Oh, and one of them was Billy, this kid, Billy Karras. His brother was there. I forgot his brother's name, but Billy Karras, one of the Greek kids I went to school with, right? And all of a sudden I sat up straight, and I have to tell you, my entire world flipped around like this. And a bunch of things happened, and you can still see the goosebumps. Number one, I loved my name instantaneously because everyone knew who I was. From then on, it was never John Smith, or it was just Sasha. People say, what's your last name? Don't worry about it. It's just Sasha, right? And
Prince.
I went from becoming insecure about my name, but then I also realized something else. I was allowing other people to dictate my emotions. And I was always looking for approval from others, right? Because I was always getting picked on. And the one thing about being small and short, everyone picks on you physically. I learned how to scrap real quick, so fear was not in my vocabulary by the time of age 8. I shouldn't say it wasn't there, but I learned how to turn off fear. But going back to that, it made me realize that I was counting on everyone else's viewpoint of me to validate me. But that's when everything changed, because at that point, I said, the only opinion that matters is mine, my mother, my father, and my sister, right? Today, maybe a couple of other people's, but I want to know your opinion, but I don't need other people to validate me.
No.
Yeah, and if you don't like my bad jokes, I'll just keep trying.
And I'm glad to say that, because that's confidence. You should be confident in yourself. You should have confidence.
Confidence is when you realize you don't need other people.
Correct.
That's when you get it.
Correct.
And it's not cocky. It's not.
It's not. It's just you're confident.
Yeah.
You don't care. Like that's the way I am.
It's not
I don't care.
You want to know.
No,
You're curious,
listen.
But it doesn't impact.
Yeah, you're right. But like, in other words, I don't care if this guy doesn't like me. It's okay. Don't like me.
I
Move
don't-
on.
yeah.
I don't need you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm confident in knowing what I bring to the table. I'm confident I know how I treat my friends. You know, I don't need people that if they don't like something about me, that's okay. That's your opinion. Move on.
Yeah. And by the way, we said we're going to talk about opinions. Opinions like assholes, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's got one. Everyone's got one. So, you were mentioning something to me earlier, by the way. I was talking about Billy the Greek.
Okay.
You were talking about some restaurant, because I think now probably might be a great time for restaurant reviews.
Yeah.
The good, the bad, the ugly.
So, what I'd like to start doing every week or every episode is talking about a restaurant that I go to, or you go to, or one of us have attended and discuss it, because I think there's a lot of great. When we sit around our friends, we what restaurant did you go? Where'd you eat last night? And they'd mention, oh my God, is it good? I've never been there.
But 20 years ago, by the way, if we were talking about restaurants in Florida,
right,
today,
right.
Today,
Everywhere.
like, oh, Florida, New York's got the best food.
No,
New York
they're all coming here.
New York does have the best food, but they're all coming here.
They're all coming here. They're all coming here. So,
exactly.
So I'd like to incorporate, a place I visited or eat at regularly, and just discuss it. And we don't really have to go into detail with it. It's just, I think it's nice to give props to restaurants I go to have good food. So,
I want to speak to that. In today's world, it's interesting because people are so quick to do what I call the 5-star threat, right? But if you're going to be so quick to do the 5-star threat, like I'll give you a bad review, people are very, very slow to compliment. They're very quick to complain.
correct. See, I do both. I'm that guy.
Yeah.
I will leave you great reviews, and if you look up my name, and I don't know if there's a way of finding my reviews, I will give a shit review. If I have a horrible look, I'm a firm believer in that. When you go to restaurants or any business, mistakes happen. Okay,
It's how they
how you handle that mistake is what makes you get a good review or bad review. I don't review you on your mistake. I review you on how you handle that mistake. Okay, just as examples, I go to a restaurant and there'd be a problem with my order. It wouldn't be right, and I would turn around to the waitress and I would be like, "Excuse me, this is not what I ordered." Now, she could be cocky and say, "No, that is what you told me." Or she could be like, "I'm very sorry. Let me take it off the menu, or let me, redo it, or something along those lines." So to me that differentiates whether I'm going to leave a good review or a bad review. And I'd be honest with you, I don't usually leave a bad review unless it even escalates more from there. Even if somebody just has a quick attitude or they do something I don't like.
People have bad days, right?
Correct. I don't do that. But if it goes to another level and then the manager gets involved and the manager comes over and he's got an attitude and then I get my check and then
doesn't that go
there's an
back
extra
to-
fee on it.
They're so preoccupied with being right instead of looking at the outcome. And what you said before, my father always taught me, a true test of a man or a woman is not how they deal with things when things go right. It's how do you deal with something when it goes wrong.
Correct.
And people do make mistakes, and I've had some amazing experiences
I
where
flick it
things
there and the
start
edge
out,
falls here. Go ahead, I'm listening.
where people, things start out horrible, but at the end of the day, I'm coming back there.
Right.
So
And again, I'll go back if it's a simple mistake and they handle it great. I'll leave a good review actually.
So who are we talking about this week?
So there's a restaurant actually right down the street here called Ethos. It's a Greek restaurant. Me and my buddy Frankie, we go there a lot.
Now, where is it?
There's a place called the Promenade in here in Coconut Creek.
Coconut
so
Creek.
if you Google Coconut Creek Promenade Ethos, it's a very good Greek restaurant. And I'm going to tell you why I'd like to just talk about them and tell you about them. They have decent food. Will I say it's the best Greek? No, it's good. It's very good food.
Oh God, I got bad jokes right now.
But
I won't touch it.
please.
Come on.
But their prices are reasonable. But here's the deal. So we sit outside. They have a nice patio in the promenade.
Yeah, I'm
nice
familiar with that, yeah.
Okay, so they have a nice outdoor area, and I smoke cigars. So I like to go and after my meal light up a nice cigar.
And
Now they're not really hugely cigar friendly, okay? Because it's a restaurant.
very, very few places, especially restaurants.
Right.
are.
They don't want to. But you know what they do? They'll give me a table because they know me by now, all the way in the back of the patio, like on the walkway
nice,
area, and they'll say, "Look, just sit here. As long as nobody sits around you, go ahead and
Light 'em
enjoy
up.
yourself. Light them up."
Yeah.
And I like that because even though they're not cigar friendly, because the people eating their food, they still cater to me. They still say, "You know what? Go over there, sit at that table, smoke your cigar. They could be assholes and be like, no, you can't smoke around here. Go down the
And
street.
listen, truth be told, I love cigars, but if I'm eating in a nice restaurant, I really don't want to smell it at that point. I want one afterwards.
I get it. I get it. Have you ever eaten in a place called, I think it's called Charlie's Steakhouse in Orlando?
Yes.
You could smoke and eat your steak.
Yes. I have. I have. By the way, they have great steaks too.
Great steak.
They have great steaks. They have great
Apparently,
steaks.
we're doing another review.
Vinny, I was literally there, I think it was, what was it, 4 weeks ago when I went up to Orlando? And every time I go up there, because there's a company that I work with, do a lot of consulting with up there, they're like, where do you want to go, Sash? And they're like, don't ask him, he just wants to go to Charlie's.
Yeah. Because you can actually smoke and eat your freaking steak as you're smoking.
That's not something I'm going to do, but
So-
it's nice that you can. It's nice that you can.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I usually just keep my, because I'll smoke before the food comes, while I'm waiting, and then when the food comes, I put my cigar down. But I like the option of not having to get up and go over there,
That's the nicest part.
So, yeah, I like Ethos. Good food, very friendly, good pricing, and they're right here in Coconut Creek at the Promenade.
And it's nice when you go to a restaurant where they start to get to know you and you feel like you're home, kind of like
Oh, yeah.
Smoking Delray.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can go into other stories of other restaurants that's
So
exactly
we'll save,
what we like.
save those for some other podcast.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to wrap this up with a dad joke, right?
Oh, my God.
I'm trying to think of which one should I talk about, but Well, gentlemen, 5 rules of a happy marriage. Rule number 1, I'm a guy, it's my fault, I'm sorry. And by the way, women will actually tell you you're right when you tell them this. Rule number 2, if I'm arguing with my wife, I have to be wrong. Rule number 3, if I think I have the last word, start the next argument. Now, can you spell? F-I-N-E. What does that spell?
Fine.
Nope. Freaked out, insecure, neurotic, emotional. When my wife says fine, I fucking run. And I duck at the same time. But you know what? Sharon taught me how to finally get the last word. Shut up for 30 seconds. And look at her, say, you know what, dear? You were right.
I'm going to be really honest with you. I think that's the difference between Italians and non-Italians. Or any, Spanish, Italian, anything like that.
Listen, I'm French and I'm
We
hot-blooded.
fight. We are fire. What do you mean?
Vinny, if you've ever seen me and Sharon go at it, you'll never see us go out in public ever. That's the rules, but it doesn't mean I follow them. I just
Gotcha.
know.
Gotcha.
So, but listen, Sharon and I, 29 years later,
God
and we're
bless
still
you.
going strong. Yeah.
God bless you.
Well,
Good
God
for you.
definitely blessed me.
God bless you.
So, listen, thank you for joining us for our first episode of
Tantrum.
No, I'm Testosterone, you're Tantrum.
Testosterone and Tantrum.
Thank you.
Yo, it's Sasha the Maestro, flowing with the airflow. Delray Beach, where the motley crew go. Call it church, call it the shop. It's the smoking anthem that we're gonna chop. But when you step inside, your day gets stopped.
Vinny's the boss but can't act right. Spikes volleyball like it's fight night.
Hey, how you doing?
Dramatic size, thinks he's killing scenes, we just roll eyes.
Welcome to Testosterone and Tantrums. Unwrapped. Unedited. Sorry, it's unfiltered.
Hold on, I'll tell you.
I always want to say unedited.
Hey, listen, I'm not going to say anything. You'll just see my foot kick.
Cleve run smoking like a Rasta king. Preaching puff puff, wisdom in a circle ring. Laid back, leaning, he passing that flame. Blesses your soul.
Get the fuck out of here.
Jared pulls up in that Mustang.
Yo, pop.
No AC sweating.